coming to you today, not live at 1 o'clock. I'll be honest, one of the awesome things about being a demonstrator and running my business the way that I do is I can take off when I need to. So we are on our way back. We're in the car right now, coming home from having watched the Twins game in Minneapolis, and I have a pre-recorded project for you. All right, this is pre-recorded. Now, this is being filmed in June, and during June we've got this awesome sale on designer paper, so I thought I would feature layouts that work with designer paper. And I had an idea for something simple. You know, I'm all about the layout. I'm all about taking the parts and how can we put the parts together. So if you are trying to figure this out, I'm going to write the numbers on here while I'm doing this, and you can take screenshots or write them down if you need to. But this is just a regular quarter size sheet of paper, which means that it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going down like many cards will go down by 1/4 of an inch. So this next piece of paper, and don't worry about the colors, this is just to help you see the different layers. So a 1/4 inch smaller, this becomes 5 1/4 by 4. And then we have so many different designer papers to work from. I just pulled out a retired something so I can include it in my book. And look, you have to decide which side on these papers because they're all printed on both. So I'm going to do this one. And again, going down a 1/4 inch smaller, that makes this one 5 by 3. Whoops, that's a 3. Sorry, making a mess on the paper, but I'm not recutting it. 3 3/4. You read that? 5 by 3 3/4. All right, and then I'm going to just put one little banner on here. And then I'm going to put a layer with the middle coordinating color. Okay, got my right colors down here now. So what I did for this one here, this is 1 3/4 inches wide. And then for the height, because I wanted it to fit on this 5-inch section, I made it 4 3/4 and then just cut a banner end in it. This framing layer is going to match whatever color I've chosen for the middle here. So for that middle layer, I made this 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then for my piece on here, I did this 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So now you have all the sizes, and I'm going to do a real quick put them all together so that it will be ready to go in my layout book. For my layout book, I just put a teeny little bit of tape on the back. And here you've got some room to play around. I'm going to put it a little bit off to the side, but you could certainly put it in the center as well. And then when I construct my card, I will probably take this layer and raise it up on dimensionals. So that's the basic layout. Works nicely as a vertical card. Rotate it 90 degrees. It could be a horizontal card. Actually, it could be a horizontal card this way. Take this whole piece with the banner and the element and just move them down a little bit. Lots of different options for how to play with this. Also, lots of different amazing papers to play with it. And I would normally just go with flowers, but you know, this is June and we have Father's Day coming up. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make 2 cards today. Same layout, exactly the same layout, but we're going to do one that's a little more feminine and one that's a little more masculine. For the masculine, I chose to use this Earth and Elegance paper. It's got amazing papers that sort of feature what I would call as more Southwest designs. It coordinates with a stamp set that I'm not using today that has some pottery and jugs in it that again would go with sort of Southwest, think like petroglyphs, and also some things that would be either like you see those geometric shapes sometimes etched in Southwest native pottery, but it could also be textiles. So lots of different options in here. Ooh, that one kind of looks like a football, doesn't it? So anyway, that is the paper that I'm using. And here you can see the colors that I've chosen to coordinate with that. I'm using Early Espresso, a really dark brown. And then I'm using a new color for the core collections. This is Pecan Pie. And I've chosen this top paper right here. And I've got all my parts all cut and ready to go. And then for the one that's a little more feminine, I chose something with flowers. And this is the Hello Irresistible paper pack. The other one was 12 by 12. This one is 6 by 6. And there's lots of fun, beautiful colors in here with soft pastel greens and pinks and yellows. So again, I have my pieces already cut from this, ready to go. And the coordinating colors I chose, this is Petal Pink and this is Flirty Flamingo. So I decided to really stretch myself, and I'm going to use one stamp set for both of these today. And I figured that a Happy Hedgehogs could work really well for either a more masculine or a more feminine flowery kind of card. So that's the stamp set I'm going to use, but I'm turning these into birthdays. And I looked at the two sentiments up here. So nice of you to be so nice. That could be a thank you card. Finding a friend is the best discovery of all, because, okay, we're kind of, maybe they're looking for something, but not what I wanted today. Today I wanted just a birthday card. So what I decided to do today was to use this go-to greetings. It's got birthday, it's got thinking of you, just a note, thank you, and it's got it in 4 different script styles. So it's got it in this beautiful, flowy, elegant, formal sort of script. It's got it in this little tiny handwritten script. It's got it in, and then it's got it in, I guess it's got it in 3 different scripts. And then it's got it in this medium-sized script over here. All right, I have my stamps all mounted. For this one, because of the orientation of the images on the designer paper, it's going to be a vertical card. And the images that I pulled out of the stamp set, I decided I'm going to put, because it's flowers, I'm just going to repeat that pattern with what I stamp. And so I'm going to stamp the tree off to the side here, and I'm going to put this little bird down in the bottom. All right, I love the fact that these are photopolymer stamps. The fact that I can see through them makes it really easy for me to line up. Now, what I want to do on this one, the stamp is too big for the piece of paper. So I want to get this flower up here on the piece of paper because I want to be able to color that one. But I also want to make sure that the grass down on the bottom is on that sheet. So I'm just going to twist it and make sure everything fits. Awesome. There we go. And now let's go ahead and add the little bird down in the corner, and then it will be ready for my blends. Now when you're stamping the blends, these are the ones that Stampin' Up! Sells that are the rectangular shape. I guess you can read it that way, rectangular shape versus the round color. And the rectangular ones, these are alcohol-based markers, so you have to be careful that when you are going to color with the alcohol markers that you're using the right kind of ink. First of all, you don't want to use StazOn because the StazOn will damage the tips of your markers, so that's something you don't want to do. All right, I brought in a few, and I'm just going to color this with colors that coordinate with the paper over here. This was Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo, so I'm going to give him a little, her, whatever this little bird is, a little petal pink tummy. I love how quick this just goes on. It's so perfect. I love the ability to blend the colors and they just kind of spread out over the paper. Let's do a little bit of, this is Pebbled Path, if you're wondering the color. It's sort of a gray brown. What do they say for bird watchers? LBB, little brown bird. Look how cute he is. All right, let me just finish up his tail here. I'm using the brush tip, and it's pointy enough because this is a new enough marker for me that it's easy to keep in the lines. And you notice me popping those lids on nice and tight when I'm done here. I don't need the light color. See, every one of these comes in both a light and a dark of the same color. So these are both Petal Pink. I only brought out the light of the Pebbled Path because it was already kind of dark. And now I have to decide which one of these. I think I'm going to start light because if it's too light, I can always come back and go darker. This is the light Flirty Flamingo. Actually, let's just try it. There's the light one, and there's the dark one. Putting these by them. Gosh, that's hard to pick. I think I'm going to go with the light one again because I can always come back and add the dark one if I decide it was too light. So let me just color these in. So we're going to test this on here and see if that looks dark enough, see if it looks like it matches well enough. I actually have another one that I stamped over here or wasn't quite happy with how it was laid on there. I'm going to try this one for color. All right, let's see if I like this one any better. Actually, I think I do like this one better. It matches the color of that middle layer a little bit more, pulls it out. So let's just redo it. That's the beauty of doing things with the blends. You can just go one color right on top of the other. All right, now I want some color, and I think this is party, but I think it's way too dark for the leaves. So I'm going to go with a much lighter color for the leaves. I'm going to try them in the dark, soft seafoam. Now, if you are like me, where you don't feel really confident coloring, I felt like that tree trunk needed to be filled in. Went with something really light in color, just so it wasn't going to appear white to the eye. It would have that finished look because there is color there. I also wasn't real sure on my hand and didn't want to go down heavy on it and go outside the lines. So there might be places in here where I actually don't have any color at all. But I feel like the eye is just going to fill that in. Your brain is going to say, oh yeah, it's been colored. All right, ready to put these things together. Oh, and this is a word of warning too. See how that has bled through? These are alcohol markers, and so yes, they do bleed through just like a Sharpie does. Well, that's crooked. Let's twist this off and put that on again. And this is going to get raised up. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but in the catalog, there's a whole new set of accessories for this thing. I got to get those out and start playing with them. I got them. There's some fun new tools. Okay, there is my little bird with her own flowers. And there we have one card, a little bit more feminine, not quite done. I got another couple of other things to show you, including the fact that the inside needs something, but we're going to set that aside and now look at what I can do for a masculine version of this. Masculine version, I decided to turn it this way, and I'm going to have that banner coming in from the side. So let me start by gluing these parts all together. Oh shoot, I need more. All right, give me a minute. Got to refill my tape. Okay, it's not sticky here, so I need to just pull it forward a little bit till I feel the sticky. Good to go. Okay, this is also going to get raised up after I get my project stamped. So this time on this card, I decided to use this little guy and the toadstool because those are all more browns to fit with the colors on this card. I'm also using vanilla as my focal point rather than using white. And I'm going to stamp this in early espresso, the dark brown, rather than stamping in black. I'm going to point out some other differences as we go through and complete both of these cards because neither one of them is finished yet. So for this one, I actually have room to put my sentiment up here on top. Right, I've pulled out three markers here. Actually, I'm pulling out one more for the grass. So I'm going to color this. I felt like I wanted to kind of keep with neutral tones that kind of fit over here with the papers. Maybe I'll pull a yellow in here too, see how I feel when I get it in my hand. But here's an interesting thing that's going to happen. Watch what happens when I take this light crumb cake marker and color the entire body of the hedgehog. Okay, I'm keeping the same marker in my hand, and I'm going from the area up here where all his hairs are, now over here to his body. And let's see, hedgehogs have a white face, don't they? Let's see if I can leave his face white. But look what happens. Doesn't it look like his hair up here is darker? It was one marker. I didn't use two. It was just one marker. But because of all these lines that got stamped, it gives the impression that I used two different colored markers. Let's see, I better do his feet too. Use the pointy end for that. Okay, so there's our little hedgehog guy, and we're going to make the toadstool basically the same color, but then I'm going to come in with the darker one and add a little bit more detail. Okay, this is me thinking as I'm going along. I decided that the cap needs to be red, and we'll give it little yellow spots. Okay, slowing this down so I can talk while I'm doing this. Clearly, you see me coloring one color over another color. That works just fine because I'm thinking while I'm working, and I just realized I have something even better than the yellow marker to use for those spots. So you're going to see something awesome here in just a minute, as long as I don't drop the marker and mess it up while I'm coloring. Let's give him some green feet. Let's get them together, and then I'll show you the new thing that I just decided to do. Get myself a good end. Oh man, this needs to be replaced. Okay, alcohol markers, they sell them in 2-packs. When one dies and gets it loses all its color, you got to replace them. There we go. Boy, I think they're both dry. The other thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of a line down here to kind of ground it. And I'm going to do the same thing for this guy. Just give him a little bit of a line so he looks like he's standing on some grass. All right, so Katie, what are you going to do for the yellow spots? Watch and see what happens. Okay, here are our 2 cards so far. I'm going to real quickly do an inside, and then we're going to come back and see one more awesome product to show you. We have a vanilla insert for this card and a white insert for this card. Let's put that tree off to the side here. Again, I love the photopolymer. Again, I like the fact that this is photopolymer, that I can see through it, so I can get it lined up how I want it on the page. And speaking of getting it lined up how I wanted, let's just add a little butterfly to this one. So here's for the inside of the card. Plenty of room to write a note. But you'll notice I don't have my sentiment on here yet. I have a fix for that. All right, for this one, we're just going to go neutrals. We're going to put my tree on the inside here, and then I'm going to add that little toadstool down in the corner, but I don't think I'm going to add any colors to it. I did try and line up the grass so that it matched, but we're just going to leave this one in its natural colors. Right, here we are so far. Definitely not done. This one has the birthday sentiment. This one doesn't. Now, I will tell you that the happy birthday that I chose, it fits very nicely lengthwise on that piece. It does fit horizontally on that piece, and I tried it stamping over the stem, but I didn't really like how it looked. So what I've done instead is I've just stamped it on another little piece, and we're just going to layer that up and add it in. So that can just layer up right there. I am going to come back and define it with the marker. think it just needs a little something to set it out. So this is my Flirty Flamingo marker, and I'm just going to edge it. I don't really want to add paper for a frame, so instead I'm just using ink for a frame. And then we will put one-dimensional underneath the, whoops, just one-dimensional underneath the outside edge, and a little bit of tape underneath this side. Yep. And just add that right in here. I want to be able to see the sentiment, so we'll just pop it up there where it's out of the way. All right, so now they both say happy birthday. They both have the same layout. One's horizontal, one's vertical. They both use the same stamp set. One's a little more masculine because of the colors. One's a little bit more feminine, and we use the stamps on the inside of both of them. Not done. So to me, these little flower centers, they need something. And yes, I could come back and I could put a rhinestone in the middle of each. In fact, I've made cards with this little flower tree where I have added a rhinestone to the front of each, and it looks wonderful. Not what I'm going to do today. I certainly cannot put a rhinestone on those little things. I had thought about just bringing my yellow marker in and coloring the center of the flowers and the center of those dots, but I have a new product. So this is what I'm going to show you today. This is not new. These are enamel effects, and they're white, red, and black. These were in the fall catalog. They carried over into the new annual catalog, along with a brand new set of them. So let's pull out this yellow and see what it looks like with just a little dab of the yellow in the center of the flowers and for the toadstool. Now, this is definitely something you want to practice first on a piece of scrap paper to make sure that you've got your fingers, you know how much pressure to put on here to get just a teeny little blob. But look at how fun this is. I hope my camera just snapped into focus. I'm trying to give it too many different depths to focus on. But look how fun that is. And you can do teeny little circles. So let me just try this. All right, here it is on the flowers, and of course it hasn't dried yet, so I need to be careful and not touch it. And it's okay on the flowers. I think that yellow gets a little bit lost with all the other colors that are on there, but when you give somebody this and they take it out of the package, they're going to notice that there's a little bit of raised and there's a little bit of shine. It looks good. This looks awesome. I can't believe how amazingly wonderful this turned out. I can't wait for this to dry and come back and take some pictures dry with it. But oh my gosh, that totally makes the toadstool. All right, as always, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think of the Happy Hedgehog stamp set. Let me know what you think of the layout that we brought in here. And if you don't have enamel effects, they come in 2 different color packs. There's lots of fun things that you can do with that product. If you need any product, I am happy to help you. I'm here to give you ideas, and I also appreciate your orders when you get ready to buy something to add to your stash of play toys. Hey, we'll talk with you next Monday. Have an incredible week. I'm Katie Johnson. Bye.